All right, let's dive right in. We're going to tackle one of the biggest, most important questions for anyone with a great idea. How do you build a business that can actually last? Let's get into it. Okay, picture this. You've got it, that brilliant, game-changing idea. But there's that nagging thought, right? The one that keeps founders staring at the ceiling at 3 a.m. What's to stop some giant company, with way more money and people, from just swooping in, copying your idea, and completely crushing you?
Now, you've probably heard the classic advice, right? Just move fast and break things. But honestly, that's not the whole story. It's not just about being fast, it's about being smart.
Which brings us to our first big point. Section 1. Your idea is vulnerable. Because look, a great idea all by itself, it's actually incredibly fragile.
So how do you actually protect it? Well, it really boils down to asking yourself 3 super important questions. Number 1, can you defend it? Is there any way, legally or just practically, to stop somebody else from ripping it off? 2, can you even deliver it? Can you actually get your product out there to customers? And finally, maybe the most important one, can you capture value? Can you make sure that you are the one getting paid for it? Because if you're missing even one piece of that puzzle, your amazing idea just starts leaking value all over the place. All right, so how do we stop that leak? That's where we get to Section 2, building your business moat. I love this analogy. Just think of your business as a castle. The moat, that's your defense system. It's what keeps the competition, the invaders, from storming your walls.
Okay, first up, we've got exclusion. You can think of this as a kind of legal force field. A competitor is literally blocked by law from copying what you do. And the number one tool for this? A patent. A great example is a new drug formula. Once that pill is on the market, it would be pretty easy for a competitor to figure out what's in it. Without a patent, there'd be nothing stopping them.
Another way to go is secrecy. This one's pretty straightforward. It's your secret recipe. Think about the formula for Coca-Cola. Competitors just can't make it because they don't know exactly what goes into it. This is an awesome moat if your advantage comes from a unique process, a special way you handle data, or some kind of operational magic that nobody else has.
Then you have the incredible power of brand and trust. Think about it. Why do we pay way more for certain brands when there are cheaper options right next to them? It all comes down to reputation. It's a moat you build over years by being reliable and delivering quality. And in industries where the stakes are high, it's everything. You're not looking for the cheapest surgeon, right? You're looking for the one you trust.
Now here's a really powerful one that people sometimes forget about: switching costs. This is all about making it a total pain for your customers to leave you for someone else. Maybe it's expensive or time-consuming or just a giant headache. Think about a piece of software that's deeply integrated into a company's workflow. They've trained all their employees on it. The thought of ripping it out and starting over? The more embedded you are, the stickier you become.
Next up is one of the heavy hitters of the modern era, network effects. This is a beautiful concept. It's when your product gets better for everyone, the more people who use it. The classic example is the telephone, right? Useless if you're the only one who has one. Social media platforms, marketplaces, they all work this way. Each new person who joins makes the whole thing more valuable, which creates this amazing self-reinforcing loop that is so hard for a new competitor to challenge.
And that leads us to a similar idea, a really powerful feedback loop called the data advantage. Here's how it works. You get access to really good, maybe even exclusive data. That data lets you build a better product. Let's say a recommendation engine that just gets you. That awesome product brings in more users. And what do those new users do? They generate even more data for you. See the cycle? It's a flywheel that can just spin faster and faster, leaving your competitors totally behind.
And last but not least, we have regulatory positioning. Look, sometimes the reason you can be in business is because you've jumped through a ton of complicated hoops that others haven't. This moat is all about getting the right certifications, passing audits, and having processes that meet strict government rules. It creates this huge barrier to entry. Think about industries like banking or aerospace. You can't just wake up one day and decide to start a new airline.
Okay, so we've got these awesome ideas for moats, right? But how do you actually, build them? What are the tools? Well, that brings us right into Section 3, the intellectual property toolbox. These are the nuts and bolts you'll use to construct those defenses. Let's break down this toolbox. First, you've got patents. They create that legal exclusion we talked about. But, and this is a big but, they're expensive, they take forever, and you have to reveal your secrets to the world. Then there are trade secrets, which are great for secrecy. The problem, the moment your secret gets out, poof, the moat is gone. Trademarks?
absolutely essential for building your brand. But they don't do anything to protect the actual technology. And finally, copyright. This protects your specific code or content from being copy-pasted, but it doesn't stop someone from just rebuilding the same idea from scratch. So you can see, each tool has a very specific job and a very specific weakness.
And all this leads to a really critical decision you have to make. It's a trade-off. Do you go out and publish your work early? Get that scientific recognition, build a community around your idea? Or do you protect it first before you tell anyone to make sure you can actually make money from it? There is no single correct answer here. It totally depends on your goals. But what's important is that you have to consciously make that choice.
So now you know the types of moats, and you know the tools in your toolbox. Let's put it all together. We're on to Section 4, your defensibility story. This is about crafting that clear, powerful story that you can tell an investor or a partner that proves you're not just some flimsy feature, you're a fortress.
And here's a super simple 4-step framework to help you build it. 1. Identify. What exactly is the thing that's hard for other people to copy? Get really specific. 2. Block. What specific tool are you using to block them? Is it that patent, that trade secret, your amazing brand? 3. Maintain. How are you going to keep this advantage going for the long haul? And 4. Evidence. What's the actual proof that your moat works? If you can answer those 4 questions clearly, you've got a killer story.
Knowing what to do is great, but knowing what not to do can be just as important. So for our last section, let's do a quick run-through of some common moat-building mistakes. These are the traps you really want to avoid.
Okay, first one, and this is a big one right now. Saying we use AI, that is not a moat. I'm sorry, it's just not. Everybody's using AI. The moat is never the tool itself. It's what unique, hard-to-copy advantage you create using that tool.
Second big mistake. Don't think a patent can save you if nobody wants your product. Having a super strong patent for something that nobody will ever buy, that's just a really expensive piece of paper. It's a classic, heartbreaking mistake.
And another one. Please don't ignore things like distribution and switching costs. Yeah, the tech is the shiny, exciting part. But honestly, these less glamorous, non-technical moats, they are often the ones that are the strongest and last the longest. How you get your product to your customers and make it hard for them to leave can be way more powerful than any patent you could file.
And one last piece of crucial advice here. Be careful not to overshare before you know what you need to protect. You've got to be strategic about what you say and when you say it. Because once that information is out there, it's out there for good. You can't put that genie back in the bottle. So that brings us to the end. You have the concept, you have the tools. It's like having a map to Treasure Island. So I'm just going to leave you with one final question to really think about. What is the single hardest part of your idea for someone else to copy? And more importantly, what's one thing you can do, starting today, to defend it?